Simon, ultimately a 46-22 defeat, but there were some bright sparks in there. What was your assessment after that?
Too little, too late, I think. The thing with Featherstone is you probably need to use their size against them, and I thought we showed that in the latter stages of the game, where I've said it before, I'll say it again, and we needed to be brave from minute one and play with a bit of expansive style, but not worry about the scoreboard. When the scoreboard pressure was gone, when the game was gone, we all of a sudden decided we could come and play. But I just think we need to be braver from minute one, really. We had a few things go against us which didn't help, but as a generalisation, I think for those that weren't here, Fev got the lion's share of possession, which just told. I thought we did some pretty average stuff with the ball ourselves, which didn't help ourselves. Own worst enemy at times, but look, it's round two. There'll be many a team that comes here and gets a tough day of it, so we're not gonna throw our toys out the pram. But there was some stuff in there that were really pleasing towards the end, but there was some stuff throughout that are not what we're about. I thought generally try to never question their effort. I think a few individuals probably need to have a good look at it because their effort were at the level it needs to be to play in this team. Or the team that we want to be, should I say. But yeah, toys out the pram. We'll move on quickly. Rough couple of days picking through it, and then we'll go again. But yeah, look, it is what it is. We've come away with a few knocks to nurse as well, so we'll just have to dust ourselves down and put our best foot forward into next week.
You said just then that we were our almost enemies. I mentioned it in commentary as well. Does that make it slightly easier to fix those kind of things if it's architects of our own downfall, so to speak?
To be honest, what do we come up with? Play the ball errors, a few knock-ons in contact. Individuals need to tidy the game up. They're getting paid to play rugby. There's kids in the background here playing the ball, getting up and playing the ball. They're not getting paid to do it. I think it's just a concentration thing, really. But while us as coaches staff are trying to look after the wider group, some people probably have to invest a little bit more in themselves and make sure they're not the blokes that are coming up with those errors. No one does it on purpose, though, of course, Mike. I think after that it just sort of spiralled because it was one after another, and then we spent a lot of time on our try line, and against most teams you end up suffering, but against a very big Fev team, it's a very tough day at the office.
Do you think it might do us good in the long run having such a physical game against kind of the yardstick of the league? When we've said it before, we've not had much of a pre-season, a physical game last week, physical game this week. Well, that stands in good stead going further in the season.
Well, it'll definitely help us. I'd rather not experience it. I'd rather have a good game and we can move on to the next one, feel a little bit better about ourselves. But all of us are trying to bridge the gap between the rest of us and the Featherstones and Toulouses and Lees of this world. And the reality is there on the pitch. They spend a lot more than anyone else. It's a tough ask, but it's not impossible. But if you don't really and genuinely believe you can do it, you won't do it.
Looking positively, we scored some really, really good tries, and quite obvious there's some training ground moves going on there. How pleased are you that A, we're thinking of those sort of things, but B, executing them in games like that?
Yeah, I think there was some other good stuff that got, like there's one down here where 13v13 at this point, we come up with a nice play down this edge and just a marginally forward pass. So we're breaking them down when they've got the right numbers in the right places, which is great. And yeah, the scrum plays and whatnot, they're just a pot shot, aren't they? It's not necessarily about scoring the try, but it's going to make for some ruck speed if you get that one-on-one in that such a bigger space. So nice to see Woody get to show his wheels off, because he works very hard for the team. Getting a reward like that's good for him. But yeah, I'd just love to see a bit more of it.
Definitely, that's what the fans want to see as well. You made quite a few changes in the pack today as well, and also on the bench. What were your thoughts on changing around a bit?
So sort of change the starting team. For the reason being, Fev's strength is their size through the middle of the field. It doesn't matter what we select, we're never really going to match them for size. So I wanted to go with a mobile team that could play and had the eyes and the vision for pulling some players. Losing Bobby after probably 4 or 5 minutes, that hindered us, and that plan, I suppose, but the others are still capable, so it's no excuse. But yeah, that was the thinking. Let's try and compete with their big men, but let's be better than them at moving the ball and working together. I thought we showed that in patches, but we didn't show it for long enough patches. Other selections, yeah, Will just felt like he wasn't the right horse for this course. so we'll have a look at again this week. And Tom Inman, I felt coming here in a tough game, I wanted Woody's experience. I thought Woody was good for us off the bench, but also on a personal level, it's been a tough week for Tom. We obviously, the loss of Zach, who was pretty tight to, and obviously another King Cross lad. Just felt like looking after his better interests really, as well as, you know, giving Woody a run who's trained hard. Tom just pipped him through pre-season, that's why he got the start, and Woody was a good teammate last week and helped out really well, showed a good attitude, so he got rewarded. But yeah, no like mythical and magical things around the team selection. Just tried to come with a plan, because if we'd have come and tried to match him for size and it hadn't gone right, it would have been like, oh, why didn't we do that? So I think it didn't go well for that reason. Not looking after possession, Bob going off, it just ended up hurting us really, but I'd do the same again.
You mentioned Bob going off, how's he doing?
All right, knocked out, so that's Bob now for 12 days, 12-day turnaround it is now, but you know, Walmsley, groin, Jake's shoulder looked like came out at least once, showed some toughness to stay on, because of the rotations and whatnot. Knew we needed a body through the middle, not someone on the edge, so put his hand up for his teammates, which was good. I dare say he'll be highly likely to feature this week. Yeah, so come away bruised. Ego's bruised, body's bruised. But again, I think we started it off with round 2. Yes, they are the yardstick team. I don't think that's a yardstick performance.